All right, you may have heard about Fox News, I'm sorry, fake news going viral. And it appears that most of these people that are shooting out these false stories, which in turn are then picked up by right-wing media such as Fox and sometimes CNN, which just further accelerates the number of hits that are obtained on these false stories. And then it has gotten to the point where our politicians, including the president-elect, pick up these stories and state that, well, they're on the internet, so they must be true. That's not necessarily the case. Here's specifically one individual who makes a living, or used to make a living. He claims he stopped, but used to make a living putting out these false news stories, which gain traction. And again, the majority of the people that are putting out these false news stories are basically putting them out in support of the right.
Hearing a lot about fake news making the rounds on social media, and in many cases shared by hundreds of thousands under the assumption that it is real. A recent development proved that fake news carries real consequences. On Sunday, police said that a man fired shots at a D.C. pizza shop while investigating a fake news story that linked Hillary Clinton and that pizzeria to a child exploitation ring. This fake news ecosystem has only grown more crowded, more politically influential as well in recent months. Some even believe that it may have impacted the presidential election. Here's one fake headline in particular about an FBI agent suspected of leaking Hillary Clinton's emails, found dead along with his wife. Many websites reported this to be true. It was, of course, a hoax. So who's behind all of this? Why? MSNBC's Jacob Sobroff interviewed the writer behind several fake news stories that went viral. And Jacob, what did you learn, good sir?
Craig, that last story was created by a guy by the name of Justin Kohler. He's 40 years old, lives with his wife and his family not too far away from here in Southern California. That post, a fake news story about an FBI agent who committed murder and suicide because of a purported connection to Hillary Clinton. Again, completely fake, was shared over 500,000 times on Facebook. Far more than any story I've ever done for MSNBC or many stories that we put out on the NBC News website. He made around $10,000, $8,000 to $10,000 on this story, and it's not the only one he's created. He let me into his house to tell me how his fake news is made. Take a look. So here's National Report. It looks like the website of my former employer, the Huffington Post. That was intentional. Like, what was the most controversial, sort of biggest story for you guys?
Yeah, we did a series of stories on Ebola, where several residents of the small town in Texas had contracted Ebola. They probably got about maybe 6 million page views.
6 million. Mm-hmm. That's huge. You must get a kick out of that.
It's very addictive.
So you feel like you've stopped cold turkey, or how are you feeling these days?
Yeah, I do. And again, I'm good with that. I think that it's kind of disappointing that it took President Trump for actual news outlets to kind of focus on this sort of phenomenon.
You say disappointing. Did you vote?
Oh, of course.
And who'd you vote for?
Hillary.
Talk me through this. This is your biggest election clicker. FBI agent suspected in Hillary email leaks found dead in apparent murder-suicide. Read that one.
The motive behind the killing is still being investigated, but police say Brown was a highly respected agent with the FBI and very well likely liked in the community.
Is any of that true?
Not a single thing.
Not a single thing.
Totally fiction.
3 days before the election, 500,000 people saw this post. 2 days before the election, over 500,000 people read an article about an FBI agent that killed his wife and himself because of pressure from the Clintons. Like, how much money did this post make you?
Likely somewhere around about $8,000.
$8,000.
Most of that, again, goes kind of to the writer.
$8,000 in your mind, is it worth it if 1.6 million people ultimately saw this, believe Hillary Clinton was involved in the murder-suicide of an FBI agent?
This is one that I would probably take back. And even to kind of add to that, Google closed all the accounts that were running on the site, so even that money is gone.
Do you feel like the work that you did from this computer affected the results of the election in any way?
I do not. It's something that, again, I'm glad you guys are here now talking about it, but you should have been talking about it years ago.
See, and that's what kills me, and I damn sure don't believe he voted for Clinton, because if he did, why would he have put out that particular negative story 3 or 4 days before the election? He had to know that it was going to have an effect on the election, and if he voted for Clinton, he for sure had to know that it was damn sure not going to help her. But that's what happens. You get guys like this that put out these fake news stories, okay, and all they're looking for are hits so that they can make money. They don't care what the effects of the stories are. And then you get Joe Jerkoff channels like Fox News that pick the story up off the internet, okay, and then they run with it, and now all of a sudden the damn thing mushrooms, and then here comes Daffy Duck Donald Trump, and he picks it up either from Fox News or off of the internet, and he runs with it. So, you know, freedom of speech is one thing, but when you make up shit that's totally false, okay, there need to be consequences for stuff like this.